Ladies and gentlemen, YouTubers around the world, welcome back to another Dune Awakened video. Today I want to talk about how to make millions of Solaris. To start things off, why would you even want that many Solaris? What do you need them for? If you've played through the game, you've probably banked a few 100,000 Solaris. Maybe you can afford your own factions, blueprints for building parts, decorations, vehicle skins, stuff like that. And maybe you have enough bank to purchase an item or two from one of the Lance Red vendors, but you want to have a little bit more to purchase all the items that you want from the vendors as they come up, and you want to have enough money to purchase all the skins from the other factions, decorations and skins vendor, right? You might also want extra Solaris, kind of future-proof the game in case other stuff comes out in the future that costs Solari. It might be a good idea to have a bank, right? So that's what we're going to be focusing on, how to get those Solaris. Let's assume you've already played through most of the game, done most of the quests, you've got some money, but you want more. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get hundreds of thousands of Solari. And I'm going to talk about why you need to do this later on in the video. But for now, we're going to focus, instead of just going straight to millions, we're going to get a few 100,000 Solari. Now that's pretty easy. The way we're going to do that, craft these MK5 radiation suits, and you're going to sell them to vendors. And all the vendors will pay about the same for them, the 17,000 Solari per. It doesn't seem to be one of those items that fluctuates based on the vendor's desire for them. I went to quite a few different vendors. Everyone was the same. The only caveat is if you find these MK5 radiation suits in the game and they're damaged, they're going to sell for less. Now, there is technically a workaround to fix that. I'm not going to talk about that in this video because I don't want to proliferate exploitations in the game. There is an exploitation though to repair all your gear, repair the max durability. It's been in the game so long now that I'm wondering if it's a feature rather than a bug, but if you guys want to figure out how to do that, you can go figure that out on your own. I won't post how to do it, but it's out there. I'm sure you can figure it out. We're going to sell, a ton of these radiation suits. You're going to get a few 100,000 Solaris. You can sell other items as well if you want to the vendors, but this is the one that just sells for the most profit, just comparatively for the crafting cost, etc., right? The other thing you can do for Solari is you can do the Lance Red personal rewards, right? The first one is oftentimes 10,000 Solaris, and you can easily do those. You can do them by turn-ins if they're easy, but if not, or you want to play in the deep desert a lot, if you just happen to be near the control points, there's been a change lately to control points where you don't need to stand in the control point the entire time to receive personal credit for capturing it. You're going to get points just by capturing it. It'll continue to accrue until the opposite faction captures it, at which case you can come back and you can capture it again. Now, if you're on a server where players aren't capturing it, this is great. Or if you get on late at night and capture it before the server maintenance or something like that, you'll oftentimes find yourself with thousands of points worth of credit, which is great because then you've gotten those rewards that you wanted and you don't have to worry about them, and you don't even have to turn in anything. Especially if it's something expensive that needs to be turned in, this is a really great way to get around that. I highly recommend using the control points to your advantage since this change has been made. Let's say we've got a few 100,000 Solari now from turning in radiation shoots, from doing the Lance Red vendors and receiving our rewards. Now we can focus on using the market in the game. The thing about the market that's kind of annoying starting out is that there's a listing price for all items in the game that you post. It seems to be based on how much time you want to put an item up. Listing cost is going to be a percentage of what you want to sell the item for. So say you only want to sell an item for one day, put it on for 24 hours, it's going to be about a 2% listing price. For 3 days, it's about 4%. For a week, it keeps doubling, so it's going to be 8%. And then for 2 weeks is 16%, right? You always want to list items for at least tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of Solari. We're not going to be dealing with anything below that on the market. The things that we want to sell in the market are going to vary based on your personal preference, what you actually have. For me, I've been selling schematics. Unique schematics that I find in the deep desert, extra copies, right? If it's an item I like that I want, I already have a few extra copies, and I just have a few extra copies more, right? So I'm going to list these on the market and we're going to try to sell them. For me, I had about 600,000 Solari, and I actually spent 400 of that 600 just in listing fees for these items. I did take a pretty big gamble here, but it ended up paying off. What happened is I don't get any of that money back. It's not a selling price. So if it fails to sell, you're not getting that listing fee back. That means that when you start this process out, you probably want to undercut the price of things. You want to make sure that you are selling items at a reasonable price that people are willing to pay for. Now, how do you do that? You have to test it, of course, but for the most part, I would say just undercut. If you're at all worried, don't post anything that's going to have a listing price of, more than you're willing to risk, right? You just want to get out there and get a few decent items that people are after. The other thing is I would recommend posting schematics that are not currently in the deep desert rotation for the current week. Maybe they're from past weeks, they haven't come back yet. Those are really valuable. You can definitely make a lot of Solari off of those. Items that are highly desirable, certain weapons, certain types of armor and tools. But even items that you would not think are in high demand, such as random weapons that are not good. The IX core leggings that drop every single week. I sold those for 80,000. It's crazy. I've even sold blood bags for like 100K. People are buying this stuff, guys. I don't know why. I'm not on a very populated server, by the way. My server these days peaks at about 50 concurrent players during prime time. So I know it's not my server that's like an outlier here, guys. This is just less than average server that I'm on. The marketplace is still active. People are buying stuff. You just have to figure out what prices are, what price you can sell things at, right? From those 600K Solari where I spent 400K in listing fees, I actually ended up with about 4 million Solaris in profit. That allowed me to have more of a breathing room, to have more of a bank where now I can just sell whatever I want and test out the waters, try to figure out what the best prices are for things. I can buy all those Atreides, decorations, skins, building sets, vehicle skins, all that stuff. I've got plenty of Solari in the bank. If you wanted to try to sell items that aren't schematics, you could. I've never done that. I haven't tested it, but it's definitely viable that if you have extra melange, if you have extra plastinium, you could try selling those items as well. See how it goes for you. That's pretty much it, guys. Like, you can just keep selling stuff and making tons of Solari. People are spending millions of Solari on items. You'd be surprised how much Solari people are willing to spend on items that they want, and they haven't had the time to farm for, they missed it, and maybe they just leveled up and they really want an item, or maybe they've got a huge bank and they're just willing to spend their guild bank on whatever items that they want to have duplicate copies of. They want to test some items out, whatever it is. People are definitely using the market, so I highly recommend that. It's the easiest way to get gold in this game. So that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.